Okay, this is a reaction video. This is Walter's World. 7 real reasons why solo travel sucks. Now, look, I just traveled solo to London, England. I'm going to travel solo on Wednesday to Los Angeles, California, and I'm also going to travel solo down to Florida about a week and a half after I get back from California. I enjoy solo traveling. I prefer solo traveling. I've traveled with my girlfriend before. I traveled with my brother and his wife before. I've traveled with my best friend before. I prefer solo traveling, okay, and that's just me, okay. But Walter's Rule is going to tell us why 7 reasons why solo travel sucks. Okay, let's see what that's all about.
Hey, fellow travelers, Mark here, Walter's Rule. Today we're here in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm actually here by myself. I'm doing a solo trip. I'm filming in Scandinavia and Northern Europe, and it's just me. No Jocelyn, no the boys. My mom's not here. My dad's not here. I don't have any friends here. I'm just solo traveling.
Okay, and like I said, that's what I did when I went to London, and I loved it.
I thought this would be a time to talk about some of the bad sides of solo travel, because you know what? Solo travel is great. I got videos on how to solo travel, all kinds of stuff, and I love it, but there's sometimes when you realize that it's just, number one, it gets lonely. Yeah,
I was never lonely when I was in London. I was there for 4 days. I was by myself. I was never lonely. In fact, when I went in line at the Arsenal store, there was a guy there who helped me out. I was going to go get names on the back of the jerseys, and he told me, "Hey, you need to go and pay for it before you get." Did not know that. Thought you just got the names on the back of it and then paid for it. But talked to the cab drivers, talked to Clive, my chauffeur. Well, I guess it's called chauffeur. Took us around Windsor, Bath, and Stonehenge. Was never lonely.
Eating lunch by myself. I'm filming by myself. It's me and my friend, Tripod, who's here with me in all my trips. And you just get lonely because you don't have someone with you to talk to. It's like a day long of silence. Like sometimes you literally don't have anybody to talk to. You don't even use your voice all day except for like 1 ticket, please. You know, and so that's where it kind of gets like the loneliness factor. And when you first start traveling, you're very excited, it's fun. But as you go along, like I've been traveling for a while now, and it's like hitting me more. Like the first week, I'm like, I'm in Finland, I'm back where I used to live. I did see some people I knew, and I got some other stuff. Like, yeah, now I'm here in Stockholm. My friends that live here, they're out of town this week. So I'm like,
now, granted, when I go to California on Wednesday, I'm going to be visiting my cousin, so he's going to pick me up, and I'm going to spend some time with him. When I go to Florida, my father is getting ready to move back up to Ohio, so I'm going to say hi to him. But London, I was by myself and loved every minute of it, so I wasn't lonely. I was pretty happy.
Oh, and then my other friends, they couldn't come down. I couldn't meet them, and so it's like, all right, so just me doing stuff. It gets lonely. It gets lonely. That's the first thing that's bad about it. You just get lonely. And honestly, another thing that's kind of bad, which is odd, it doesn't sound so horrible, but you only have selfie pictures. Like, literally, this is all my personal stuff is me doing this. Hey, so everything is my face. It's like, here's me, and then there's the site behind me. It looks kind of lame, right? And so you're like, I don't have any of the good pictures of me here, like, hello, there's me and the stuff, you know? You're like, that's one of the things. It sounds silly, but you don't have a photographer. You have someone to help you out, like, hey, you got a booger in your nose. That's why you can always tell which videos Jocelyn has been at when I film, because I look so presentable. Today, I look a little ragged because it's just me, and then
I actually had people take pictures of me. Somebody took a picture of me at Stonehenge. Yeah, but that's partially what you're there for. I mean, granted, if I was there with my friend and stuff like that, my friend doesn't like to have pictures taken anyway, so I wouldn't have any pictures taken with him. So it'd just be selfies anyway. So,
yeah. You have a camera that's like this small, so something to think about. So you're lonely, and you don't have to take your pictures. And this is exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about solo travelers and you don't have someone to take your picture. That horse is asking for me to be on it. I mean, it's a symbol of Sweden, the Dala horse. I gotta do it. But now I don't have anybody to ask. There's nobody around, so I'm just gonna have to try to do a selfie, which will suck, right? So yeah.
Looks good. Looks fine.
That's one of those drawbacks. Just no camera person.
It's okay. It's fine. Like I said, it's not the end of the world.
I mean, who would I have to take my picture with ABBA?
You don't need to get your picture taken with ABBA. Trust me, because it looks like it's the females who got. Well, maybe it's not, but still, you don't need to get your picture taken with ABBA. Besides, you need 3 other people with you.
just gets worse and worse with this no photog stuff. And also, I think another big one is it does make it more expensive. Now you say, well, Mark.
Not well. I suppose if like look when I went to out west with my friend, yeah, we split the rental car. We paid for our own way. We paid for our own hotel rooms. We didn't share a room. So the only thing we really split was the rental car.
How's it more expensive? Just one of you. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, the plane tickets and train tickets are the same. However, accommodation. I'm not splitting accommodation with anybody. So everywhere I stay, it's $100, $200, €1,000, whatever it is. It's just me, and I'm not splitting it with anybody. So that makes it more expensive. Also, when you go out to eat, if I want to try things, I have to order all the different stuff. It makes it a lot more expensive that way. But also, I'm not splitting things. Like, I don't want a whole dessert. Maybe I could split with you. Now I'm getting that. So you're not splitting the bill. You don't have that
I guess that would make some sense, but again, I don't know that's that big of a deal because I don't even if he's looking at the food in places like you don't always want to eat everything, but maybe you want to try some things. But yeah, you get that, I'll get this, and then I'll try one of yours, you'll try one of mine. I guess that makes some sense, but it's really not that big of a deal for me.
Person to split the bills with, so that kind of sucks about it.
That does look good, though. That looks really good.
See, they have some take pictures together and go to dinner together and hang out together. I don't got anybody.
Oh, well, I mean, look, it's not... Look, nobody's put a gun to your head and said you need to go to Stockholm, Sweden now by yourself. Okay? You could have waited till your wife and kids were available. So nobody's forcing you to do this.
Especially when I want to go grab like a coffee and a cinnamon roll here.
You can. Nobody's stopping you.
By myself. Kind of sucks. But honestly, one of the worst parts about it, you just don't have a wingman. When you're going up to the clubs, you want to dance, like, hey, I met somebody, how's it going? Or someone to like have your back, or someone to call the ambulance if you're sick. Like, you don't have that person there. And I know it seems like, well, that's just a lonely thing, but no, it's the person that can help you. I mean, think about it. How do you go to the bathroom? You go to the bathroom, you have friends.
Well, yeah.
You have luggage. Your friend saves your luggage, and then you go to the bathroom unhampered.
Look, when I was in London, okay, I basically, if I didn't carry a whole lot. I didn't carry a lot of baggage with me if I had to go to the restroom. And if I did go to the restroom, I just took the stuff with me, and there was plenty of room in the toilet for me to hang it, on a coat hanger that was there, and then use the bathroom, use the potty. It wasn't the end of the world. Okay, I didn't need somebody to watch something for me.
Hold back, unburdened by all of your luggage. This happened to me yesterday. I got in and I had to go to the bathroom. However, I had my carry-on suitcase, I had my backpack, and my stuff, for filming, and I had to take all that with me, get it in the little stall so I could go to the bathroom, and then undo my coat, take off my sweater, and then go to the bathroom, and then put it all back on, get everything together, be like a little hobbit, put it in all things. It's like I'm watching Lord of the Rings when I'm getting ready, right? And you don't have that person that can help you out. So that wingman, that helper, that buddy, to take care of things isn't there. That kind of sucks. Because honestly, you got to watch your bags all the time. You don't have a friend looking over your shoulder when your bag's on a chair kind of thing. Like you got.
Again, I didn't have that problem when I was in London. Okay, I really didn't have that problem, and I understand where you're coming from. But if you rent a car, you can leave the stuff in the car. Again, these are things that I understand where he's coming from, but I don't necessarily think that they're things that can be overcome. Now, solo traveling is perfectly fine with me, okay? But I understand where he's coming from.
You got to be extra vigilant because no one's helping you being vigilant. That's another thing that kind of sucks about being a solo traveler is the safety side of it. Because if you're traveling by yourself, you become more of a target. If you're a female solo traveler, you need to be more careful. It sucks. The world is not fair. But you do need to be more careful. So that's why you're watching your drink. You're making sure, when you go, if you're going to stay at the hostels, you make friends and go out with people at the
Look, when I was in London, when I was going to the Emirates Stadium to watch Arsenal play Chelsea, I was dressed up in my Kai Havertz jersey, which I just bought the day before. I was dressed to the nines in an Arsenal shirt. Okay, I was worried that I would run into some Tottenham supporters. Now Tottenham, I believe, was playing Fulham at Craven Cottage on the west side of London. I didn't think I was going to run into them, but I was worried that I would run into some Tottenham supporters or some West Ham supporters or somebody who would say something to me about. And it turns out there were a couple people who did say something to me about my Arsenal jersey, but they were basically, good luck or hey, going to the game, and gave me a thumbs up, and that was really it. So I guess having a wingman is nice to have, but I really didn't need it when I was in London.
Hassles, not by yourself. Find a travel buddy for the day that's there. But honestly, there's a safety side of it when you're by yourself, And there's certain parts of the world where it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or whatever, it can be a little bit dangerous going out on your own. So that's the safety aspect of it. And that's probably why your family gets all worried about you when you go all by yourself. Like, Mark, are you going to be okay? I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. It's Finland and Sweden and Denmark. I'm like, I'm going to be fine. Don't worry, Mom. It's okay. But also, think about my mom. Another bad thing is having to explain to your family and friends why you're going traveling alone.
Now, let me just let you know, when I went to England, okay, I did not tell my father or my brother that I was going to London, okay? I didn't let anybody know, okay? And I had reasons for this. But when I made it to the Emirates Stadium on Sunday, the day before I was actually getting ready to head back to the United States, I said, and asked my brother. My brother had asked me a question about when I was off from work, and I told him, I said, guess where I am? And he said, home, I think, home, I guess. And I said, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. And I took a selfie of myself in front of the Emirates Stadium, and then I also took a selfie of myself, a picture of the stadium, and I sent it to him. And he's like, where are you at? And I said, the Emirates Stadium to watch Arsenal versus Chelsea. And he said, who did you travel with? I said, myself. And he was like, well, you hide it well. And that was it. That was when they knew I was in London. My father wrote down unbelievable and basically gave me a little bit of a stick about traveling alone or letting him know that I was going to be over there. But that was pretty much it. I didn't let anybody know I was going to London until the day I was getting ready to head back to the United States.
Because you have friends like, well, I would have gone with you. Why aren't you going to go with me? And it's like, how do I have the conversation that...
And actually, I did know. I let my cousin knew who I'm going to go see on Wednesday, and my best friend knew that I was going to London, but everybody else was completely in the dark.
Dude, you are so cheap, I don't want to travel with you. Or, dude, you bring so much drama with you that I don't want to go anywhere with you, That kind of explanation is like, I don't need to explain to people why I want to go travel by myself. I wanted to go back to Finland because I used to live there. I just want to enjoy being in those moments together and see those things again and just relive the good old days kind of thing, Just enjoying my time. But how do you explain that to people? That's kind of the bad thing about it. But the thing is, I really love traveling with my family and my friends because it gives me somebody to experience things with. We get to have the conversation of, remember when we went where?
Actually, no. I was able to share my experiences with people that I didn't travel with. They weren't there with me, but I was able to talk to them about it, tell them about it, and let them see my pictures and things like that. I was able to share the experience with them. Maybe not in the way that you would. He's talking about here, but I was able to share the experience with them as I discussed them, and they were able to live what it was like there with me, through me.
It's not just, remember what we did in high school, it's, hey, Mike, remember we were in Carbondale together for that trip? Remember we were in Memphis together for that trip? We went down to New Orleans and we had the bands and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you have those experiences. I see that with my parents and my kids. They'll talk about, remember we went to Rwanda together? Remember we were in Portugal together? Remember we were in Brazil together? They have these kind of bonds that are there that make the experience better, but it also makes that experience come alive again because nobody really wants to hear about your travel stories, if they didn't go. But if someone went with you, you can share those kind of war stories together and you understand each other. And then there's just the fact that you miss people. I do very well, the first few days of my travels when I'm by myself. But then after a while, I miss Jocelyn. She's awesome. She's great. She's a rock star. She's beautiful. She's smart. She's funny. She's everything I've ever wanted. It's why I'm married to her, and I miss her. I miss her. I miss her family. The boys.
Granted, I didn't miss my family a whole lot. I just, because they were within, hit them on the phone if I missed them. But, again, I understand where he's coming back to this one because, immediate family, sharing it with them. I suppose it would be nice, but I didn't miss them that much because I was only there for 4 days, to be honest.
Caleb, Liam, they're teenagers. Even teenagers. I miss my teenage boys, just hanging out with them, playing cards, having them give me crap and send me memes and stuff. Like, I miss that. And that's what a part of solo travel is. Well, you kind of miss your friends. That's why I always say, it's like, look, text your friends, call your friends when you're traveling. It's okay. What's the big deal? If you have WhatsApp, it's free. Or get your data package, you can call, hop online. I mean, there's ways you can still connect with them, but I won't lie to you, it does suck sometimes. You miss your family and friends. And kind of with that leads to the next part that goes on there, kind of the process here, is the guilt you have for having left your...
Again, I did not feel guilty at all traveling without my family or friends. I did not feel guilty. Like I said, my friend knew I was going. I texted him, let him know before I boarded the airplane. He wished me luck, told me to have a great time. I texted him from the stadium. He said, have a good time. I had no guilt. The only guilt my father was not letting him know, but I had a reason for that because I wanted to share with him that I was going to the Arsenal-Chelsea game as it happened. And I was able to have a family conference call on the phone, let him know everything that I did and experience. And when I go down and see him in about 2.5 weeks, about 2 weeks, I'll be able to share the pictures and everything like that. I have no guilt traveling without my family or friends.
Behind, because I feel bad leaving Jocelyn at home and Liam at home and Caleb at home. Like, they're there, they're going to school, they're dealing with that. Jocelyn's teaching a class for me and help me out. And it's like, I feel bad about it. Like, you do feel bad. Like, I have my friends I know would have loved to come to Finland and Sweden with me, and I'm like, I didn't tell them about it because I didn't want to have the awkward stuff, and I feel bad about it, right? So you have that kind of guilt part that's on there. And you shouldn't feel guilty. You are exploring on your own. You're doing your vacation, not theirs. It's yours, okay? Because believe me, resentment from your family and friends because you went to those places is another bad thing.
Again, nobody resented me from going. Everybody was excited that I was able to go there. They still talk about it. They still want to talk about it. No resentment. Okay, this is something that I have not experienced.
About going and traveling solo. I just want to put that one out there.
In every place I've ever been to, nobody's ever resented me for going without them. They never resented me going with them or going without them.
Because if we all have a mother-in-law or a father or a cousin that is like, oh, you left us alone. Why didn't you take me? Yeah, that resentment they get for you. Like, you have the guilt, but then it's also their resentment, which is like a double whammy, so you gotta be careful with that. And just honestly, I think one of the biggest ones, though, because I can get past all this stuff, but one of the really bad parts is if something goes bad. Now, I know I talked about Wingman, they can call the hospital, but if something...
Now, nothing went bad when I was in there, and I didn't expect anything to go bad. Nothing went bad. Besides, look, when on the way back to Ohio from London, obviously now the cat's out of the bag the day before, I texted my father, let him know I was aboard the aircraft. Even though it was 4 a.m. when he got the text, he sent back, just let me know when you land. When I landed in Boston, let him know I landed. Let him know I landed in Columbus. Let everybody know where I was. Everything worked out great.
Something goes bad, you don't have anybody that's going to call your family. You don't have anybody that's going to know who you are. Think about it. If I fell off this thing right here, well, my bag's up here, but my ID's up here. I'm down there. They don't know that. They take me to the hospital. Like, yeah, we've got a blonde white guy. Hello, we're in Sweden.
A balding white guy, not a blonde.
There's a lot of those, right? And so that's one of those things. Like, if something bad happens, it's scary. Like, I've been traveling on my own before and got really, really sick, like coughing up blood. I'm like, oh my God. Like, at least I was in Germany, so I knew what to do. So I went to the doctor, I went to the pharmacy, talked to them, they got me all set up. So it's okay, but if you're by yourself sometimes and you get sick, or bad things happen, break a leg. I met many travelers that have broke ankles on their trips. And like, how do I get my stuff
Now, when I was going to the Arsenal game, I almost tripped and fell over, but I didn't. And even if I had, I'm sure there was been somebody there who would have picked me because I was surrounded by a bunch of people. But still, I understand what he's saying, but I really wasn't worried too much about that.
I'm on crutches. right? So it can be scary. But these are some of the bad things about traveling solo. Look, there's tons of things you're going to love about traveling solo, and I got another video on that, but this is one I thought, as I'm feeling very guilty about being here without my family, and I'm missing my family, and my mom writing me about, oh, we were in Stockholm together, I'm feeling really bad right now, so I thought I'd make a video, a very cathartic video, to talk about the bad things of solo travel, so I feel better about traveling by myself. So, what do you think are some of the bad things about traveling solo? Or, what are some of the good things about traveling solo? Because, like, having the opportunity to make yourself or force yourself to meet locals when you travel is one of the best parts of it. That's actually how I learned so much about cultures, because I just go up and talk to the locals. But I couldn't do that with my friends were there, so it's one of those things. So, anyway.
Okay, please click like, share, and subscribe for Walter's World. This is 7 reasons why solo travel sucks. It's actually 11 reasons, which he gave, but he said 7 reasons, so that's what I'm going to call it, 7 reasons why solo travel sucks. Please click like, share, and subscribe for him, as well as for me. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.